Hi guys, what's happening? My name is Jimzip, and this is the first ever. Wait, it's not the first ever. This is my first ever Let's Pixel tutorial. I love these tutorials. I watch them all the time, actually myself. So I thought, why not give it a crack and share some cool stuff with you guys? Today I am working with a program called Pixel Edit, which I recently found and which I really like. It makes a whole heap of normally tedious things really quite easy, and it's a lightweight package. It's for Mac and PC, and no, I don't get paid for saying this, but I just like it a lot. It's made my life kind of easy in recent times. Yeah, so let's get straight to it. I'm going to be showing you guys today how to make a diamond, and actually how to animate the diamond as well, because, well, I think that'd be kind of cool. And at the moment, I'm working on a game that needs this asset, so that's a good reason to do it. So I'm going to start with a tile that's 30 by 30. Yeah, let's do that. That's probably big enough. Now, yeah, as you can see, I've shrunk my screen resolution. Maybe I won't do that in the future because this makes it a bit tight. But here we go. We've got our canvas here, 30 by 30. A lot of the keyboard shortcuts are the same as a lot of graphic programs you might know and love already. Spacebar, and you can grab and drag the canvas around. And the other ones, I guess you'll learn as you go along, but they're pretty logical. Select is S, and the P, well, okay, pen is D. I don't know, maybe in a different language. That works. But okay, let's get to it. So, actually, I have a reference image, but I'm pretty sure I think I got this. So let's first of all pick a color for the outline, and just do this rough. I'm not gonna go to too much effort here. But I'm just gonna start by doing some rough edges here, and oops, my bad. Why isn't my keyboard shortcut working? Did I change my keyboard? No, we're all good. Yeah, let's just do a rough outline here. You guys who are familiar with pixel art probably know this already, but for those of you who aren't so familiar with pixel art, one of the big no-nos is sharp corners. I hate sharp corners. And I'll show you why in a minute. Let's just do one here. Bang. Cool. So let's just go like this. In fact, I'm just gonna draw the outline that I want. Now this, when I said I'm drawing a diamond, I'm drawing an uncut diamond. I'm drawing like a raw hunk of diamond, yeah, that you would dig up yourself from some sort of mine, hopefully for fair pay. Okay, so here's some sort of shape. I'm not totally happy with this, to be honest, but let's center it for a start. And actually, straight away, there's a couple of things I'm going to fix. I don't like how this is going. Let's get rid of that. This looks better already. So I'm going to make it sort of a sharp point at the top. Yeah, okay, I can work with this. So it doesn't really matter what shape your rock is, as long as it looks like a rocky kind of shape. I mean, crystals in general are kind of, they don't have soft curves generally. You know, when you find them, they're sort of hard, angular sort of things, sitting in the ground doing their thing. So you can see that I'm trying to do that already. I've got a couple of flat faces here. I'm already going to go in and put some contours in here because stones generally don't have one face. So let's give it a bit of a cracked off piece here, maybe. That's kind of cool, and maybe this can sort of come in here a bit. Yes, I won't sing. I'm sorry. Don't let me sing. So, okay, we want that kind of crystalline shape. So I'm going to give it quite a few faceted kind of like corners and a few like edges. So this is yeah. I mean, you can't really see now, but this could be on. We could be onto something here. Now I'm just going to fill this up with some color. That's probably a bit too not really bold enough. Just so I can sort of see the faces for myself. Already I can see that there's some stuff here that, again, I don't like. I'm sorry, I do this a lot. I get really picky about this stuff kind of early on, and I probably shouldn't. I probably should just go and just do the darn thing and then come back and fix it up later, but I ain't gonna. So, cool. Okay, and now, so the cool thing about especially gemstones is that obviously they're transparent, and this transparency gives a really cool quality to them, especially when it comes to like light. Light light and gems is kind of let's go like a more grayish color. Actually, I don't want it to be too blue. This might be better. Yeah, cool, whatever. So I have a reference image here. We can just check. Like, I wanted to show you guys something. So I'm gonna do something kind of like this. This I find really, really cool, and it shows exactly what I'm talking about here with light and crystals. If you ever noticed with the glass or, you know, a precious rock or whatever, when the light hits it, it kind of goes crazy and has like a party inside. And so you'll get these parts that are really, really bright, and you'll get these parts that are like dark. And the darker parts, strangely enough, usually tend to be around the edges. Because of the way the light sort of gets trapped in the object, it tends to be lightest in the center. Let's have a look at another one here and you'll see what I mean. Okay, well, yeah, you can kind of see what I mean. But I mean, you get these light kind of blobs inside the stone, which are really cool, and some dark areas too. That's really nice. I like that one. Anyway, so let's go back to this. He's looking a bit primitive right now, isn't he? Let me try doing some darker. Oh, not that dark. Doing some darker areas. Oh man, I'm seeing it again. You guys, I apologize. I really do. Okay, let's already start giving this guy some extra color. I have a style in the game that I'm working on right now where I use quite a lot of color, and I'm not really using flat, like just a couple of shades for my objects. I'm kind of giving them a lot of texture and giving them a lot of tones and stuff. So I'm going to do the same here because I think it's worthwhile. So what I'm doing here is just highlighting. I'm giving it kind of. I don't like this color. I'm going to make that a bit more blue after all. Come on. Sometimes the keys get stuck or something. I don't know. Maybe they have to fix that. Yeah, so I'm just playing with how the light's inside the object right now. If you remember that picture that I just showed you, there's some really cool stuff happening with the light, especially in these kind of objects, where it kind of bounces around inside the object. And so I'm gonna try and simulate that a little bit with what I'm doing here. I mean, I don't have a plan for this. This is not like coming from any wisdom here per se. Although actually years ago I did a lot of 3D stuff, and if you ever get the chance to play around with like transparent objects in 3D software, like the refraction and the transparencies and stuff, it's really it's kind of interesting. I really like that stuff. And often they're computed based on sort of real world values, so you get kind of a realistic interpretation of what's going on. And that comes in really handy when you're doing stuff like this. So, okay, so we've got like 4 tones going on here. I think, yeah, roundabout. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's about 4. I can count. Cool. Let's also give it some, like, let's just pad it here a little bit. Dampen that solid kind of light effect here. I'm going to put some dark in here as well because I think it needs some here. Yeah, that's cool. This is kind of, I don't want it to look too, I want it to look natural. I want it to look kind of rough. And maybe this, man, I tell you what, 90% of this stuff is tweaking when it comes to me. I'm horrible like that. And there's a couple of pixel artists out there that just know, they can see it in their mind's eye so clearly and they just like bang it out. But I like playing around and I like getting there kind of slowly. This is cool. In Pixel Edit, you can pick a color, and it'll give you up here like shades that are complementary. You know, not just shades. There's shading, there's lightness, saturation, and there's hue. I went too light there. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes things don't update. You pick one, and I couldn't see it there for a minute, and now my key's stuck again. Oh man, really? Let's get it. Let's just click it. There you go. So I wanted like a lighter color here, and like I said, I'm going to give this quite a few shades, I think, because I want it to look kind of cool. Let's go in here and lighten this up. Now this, you can see over here, this stuff's already starting to have some kind of effect. I mean, you don't have the rough edges where the colors change anymore, which I like. Come on now, jeez, these keys. Yeah, man. Okay, I'm stopping. Let's also put some dark in here because I think there should be some dark here. Although I don't want it to look too... Yeah, I think I ruined it. I don't like that. And also I'm going to change the direction of these. I don't want everything to be going like diagonally this way. I want things to be sort of a bit more random looking. That's cool. Yes. Okay. And now where's that light shade? This one. I might make this even lighter. Is that crazy? Am I insane? Let's go lighter. Boom. And I'm just gonna fill. Actually, there's a really cool tool in here as well. I mean, come on, a lot of software has this, but this is something that I recently have been using a lot. Is this color replacer tool? It's really neat. So you pick a color, you pick another color, and now you can just go to town, and it will only affect the background color. Sorry, the foreground color. The foreground color will be replaced with the background color. That looked hideous. I just wanted to demonstrate what it did. So here's another interesting thing. Let's pretend, for the sake of this tutorial, that the light's coming from up here, or actually behind the rock, but from this direction up in the corner. So it's coming straight through, well, into the back of the object. So for this, I want to kind of show that it's hitting the back of the rock, and then it's doing some cool stuff. It's getting broken up. It's sort of getting split through the different faces. So this face down here, you can kind of tell it's on the bottom. So what I would like to do with that actually is to make that darker, because I think it doesn't work if there's too much light in there. Yeah, see, that already gives it kind of a cool effect. And I'm just gonna tidy that up. And I'm sorry this is so higgledy-piggledy, as they say in Britain, but you know, like I said, tweaking. Tweaking is key for success. This is very true in the pixel art as well. Actually, you know what? Yeah, so here, yeah, so this is one I made recently, actually, for the game I'm working on right now. Beast Stone, which needs some stone action, because it's called Beast Stone. And here's kind of a cool example of what I'm talking about with the light. Check out the reflections here, which I kind of think came out really cool. There's a bright light shining on this front face here. And, you know, it kind of does that glint thing where it moves along the surface. But if you notice, in the background on this other face, you can also see that same light, but it's distorted because it's coming through another face. So it's going in the front, and then it's reflecting off the back a bit or something. Just offsetting that gave it kind of a really cool effect. But let's go back to pixeling for now. Cool, now I want to do something about these edges before we keep texturing this, because I think these edges need some love. So I'm gonna go for actually a really light shade here. In fact, I want like an electricer blue, wow. A more electric kind of color here. And I'm gonna do the faces which I think the light is hitting. Oh, I never talked about solid corners. I should do that as well. Solid corners in pixel art are my pet hate, and I'm sure I'm not alone here. This here and this here are the devil, because the cool thing about pixel art is it's so tiny and you have to fit so much detail into it. And if you put solid corners in, you kind of get this jaggy effect that breaks up the overall smoothness or the overall kind of quality of your image, which really bugs me. And it sounds like a small thing, not such a small thing. Well, maybe it is a small thing to some people, but not to me. Oh, that's too close. I want a light color here, but I don't want too similar to what I just did. That's not right. Let's just pick that and we'll go down one. Let's go down one step. There we go. Okay, okay. So this edge here where the light's hitting is going to be the brightest. And I want to, you know, I want to do the outlines of the rock as if they're catching a bit of that light. So I'm not going to do it all the way around. Maybe to like here or so. Maybe to the edge here where it bends. Yeah, that's cool. And a little bit on the bottom. Maybe it gets darker under here because it's sort of not the edge that's facing the light. So we're going to get a little darker. Now we're going to get a little darker again. Bear with me. I'm not insane. I'm not a professional, but but I've done this a couple of times. So basically the edges are going to get, in this case, are going to get darker. And actually in pixel art in general, depending on where your source light is. So imagine your source light, again, is coming from the corner here. It's hitting this main edge, which is giving the twing, that's the brightest. Then there's like around the side, there's a little bit less light. So, you know, it's a bit darker. And, you know, rinse and repeat as you go around the object. But there is a little exception, which we'll get to later. And that's, yeah, we'll get there later. Maybe this is too fluoro. I'm just gonna take out a bit of the electric here, because maybe I think I overshot that. Little things, but it makes a difference, I think. Let's make it a bit more saturated there, but go back into that deeper blue. So now I'm going to use my color replacer again, and I'm going to pick this one and then replace it. Was that a mistake? Did I choose the wrong shade there? I think I did, yeah. Let's go back. I'm cool with that for now. We're good. All is good. Okay, cool. Now, these dark edges here, what can we do with them? Let's also make them a wee bit lighter. Just a wee bit. Go back to that dark blue a little bit. Because they're not, oh, that's too light. They're not completely in the dark, but they're not catching as much light as that front face. I keep doing these saturated blues, which I'm not cool with. I don't want that. I want like a, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, a lot of this stuff's just playing around, getting the right shade, and you'll know when you find it. You'll see something and you'll be like, that looks pretty cool, and that's the shade you go with. It's simple as that. There we go. Okay, so that's the shade I'm gonna go with. That's the one. I don't want to take the complete. I don't want to take the edges off completely. It's actually not the right one. I lied. I'm gonna go darker again. But I just want to soften them up a wee bit because they're kind of distracting, and they're too strong. Yeah, that's nice. Let's get that. Just fill tool. Fill tool. That's F, by the way. Fill tool. Hey, Phil. I'm gonna give. Oh, see, this dark blue was left over from before, but actually that could come in handy because I want that now. I'm gonna do some weird stuff here, and this part too could use some darkening up. Yeah. Okay, I'm just searching for places that need some love. I'm also I'm obviously reusing a lot of colors that are already here in the stone. As you can see, like when I'm grabbing a new color, I'm just using actually it's option, but it goes to the color picker here. And then you can just grab what you want and go, go, go. I'm still not happy with this. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm going to take the saturation out of this, but I'm going to make it lighter again. And color replacer. That one. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. That one. Cool. Yeah, okay. This is good. I gotta be honest, this is not my best stone. I'm usually pretty good at stones, but this is not one of my better ones. So I apologize. But you're getting the idea. I mean, the edges are important. And then the most important thing with these is that the light sort of looks right. Well, at least the light looks like it's playing into the object and getting a bit. Ah, jeez. It's also the wrong player. I'm sorry. This is my first Pixel tutorial, so I'm getting there. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm checking out the previews as I'm working because I think you need to see down here. I mean, check out the difference here. Look at this one here, this huge preview, and it looks kind of muddy. In fact, it just looks like a mess, really. But check down here, and you can see that there's something cool kind of happening there. We got. I mean, let's zoom out and we can see. Like that looks cool. Like that size, that looks like a cool little chunk of something. I mean, it looks a little like silver, to be honest, but I mean, even there, it's not so bad. In the game I'm working on, everything's ×2, so I think this will work because it doesn't have to be massive. It's just going to be ×2. So, okay, let's get to the actual animation part. I think that's kind of enough for now with the colors and stuff because I think we could play all night with that stuff. But really, what we want to do is get this thing looking like it's transparent. I just completely lied to you guys. I'm like, let's move on, and then I start doing this. I'm just not happy with something up here. And I just made it worse. I'm going back. Going back. That's the undo key, power of undo. Okay, so now let's, we've got this first frame. That's cool. Now, let me just save this out. Okay, so I'm just going to save that out as Diamond 1. Cool. Let's zoom out a wee bit. Scroll wheel for zoom. Thank you, Pixel Edit. Thank you, JimZip, for this lovely tip. Okay, so now we've got this first frame, like I said. Now we can actually get going on the animation, and this is where this thing is going to really shine. Yeah, pun intended. because we're going to give it some, the light is going to make this thing come alive. So what we want to do is resize the canvas, and we want to add some more tiles, because interestingly, Pixel Edit uses these tiles as frames for your animation. This is how the animation system in Pixel Edit works. You add tiles, and each tile is a frame, which is really cool because now you can compare straight up what's going on. Now, I gotta be honest, I know the way you're supposed to do this is a bit different. You're supposed to actually, here, let's add an animation. Let's call it Diamond Shine. And it's gonna be so it starts at frame 0, it's gonna be 4 frames long. It's playing at 100 milliseconds, so it's pretty quick. Now, I know that you're supposed to edit frames in here now, because here's something cool. If you now use the bracket tool, you can jump from frame to frame. Wait, bracket tool? Nope, I'm sorry. It's the, full stop and comma. So full stop jumps to the next frame, and comma takes you right the way back. Let's double click in this frame for a second, and I'm on the select tool. Just double click here, and what that does, it actually selects the whole, the whole frame. Copy that. Double click paste, double click paste, double click paste. So we've got the same thing in every frame. I think this might need more frames. I think usually it's like 6 frames. What did I just do? Oh yeah, right. I gotta resize the canvas. Yeah. Cool. So let's just paste them in as well. Great. And now this is, oh yeah, I love this part. This is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens. Palette, I don't want that. I want my layers. There you are. I'm gonna call it, sorry, I'm sort of flying through the interface here because I know it kind of well. I should explain this better. On your right here is where you'll find a whole heap of useful tools. So we won't worry about a lot of these now, but in other tutorials, we'll probably get into a couple of these things. But basically what you need to know is that there's a preview up here, which also uses all the same shortcuts as the main window. In fact, all these windows use the same kind of shortcuts if you want. They're kind of, you can edit here if you want, just like you can edit up here in the main window. You can't do that in the preview because it's just a preview, but you can here. Well, it says frame edit. that's probably why. But the layers down here is what we're going to focus on right now. Layer 0, that's my diamond, and I don't want to change that. Now that it's set, diamond is good to sit there and just be lazy. But what I do want to do now, because I don't want to be so destructive with this, I want to add another layer on top. This is going to be my shine. So let's call that one shine. That's cool. And now, so now we can get to animating. Let's go to frame 1. Where are we right now? We're on frame 1. Okay, cool. Pen tool. I'm gonna just flip back to black and white here, and I'm gonna just choose. I'm gonna go opacity. I'm gonna go quite low. I'm gonna go like 75. I like numbers that are divisible by 5. You will learn this about me. It may be a phobia, or what do you call it? Yeah. I just like that. So cool. So we're on frame 1 and we're on the shine layer. Make sure you're not drawing over your diamond. Make sure you're on your shine layer. And I'm going to start by doing what I did with the other gem here. I'm going to make the light just swing. Where is it? Swing. There he is. I'm going to make it do that. So let's, again, use your imagination cap, and the light's coming from back here. And so where's it going to hit first? In my head, I feel like it's going to we're going to see it first in these two faces, I think. And a little bit in here, down in the bottom. It's going to be refracted and then bounced out. It's going to come in one way and out the other way. So let's do these faces first. And I feel like I want to make it, maybe I'll move the light source to make it a bit more dramatic. So we'll have a still light source behind pointing into the rock. And now we're going to have one on the front that sort of blitzes over this thing. So I'm going to start down here. I'm just going to draw a little, the start of the shine here. That's pretty subtle, but that's good. You'll see why that's good. Let's move to frame 2. And I'm going to do it the way they want me to do it. And by they, I mean, when you read forums and stuff, people are like, when you're animating in Pixel Edit, you should use the Pixel Frame Edit view for editing frames. Sounds logical. I like the view above, to be honest. I like seeing stuff next to each other. You've also got this cool onion skin feature, which I think unfortunately is a little buggy at the moment, but, well, at least, okay, sorry, developers. Maybe it's not buggy, but I can't figure out how to use it properly because it doesn't seem to do much for me. So I'm going to turn that off. But now we've got frame 1 and 2, and you can see already that the light is kind of moving over this surface. And this is just kind of cool. Well, anyway, let's keep going. Frame 3, and the light's coming up here now. It's already gone across that surface. I don't have that many frames in a lot of my animations because I kind of want that retro pixel art quality, and I don't want it to look like it's like some HD thing. So let's go at like 60 frames a second. Cool. So that's the first few frames, and you see it's not that hard. I mean, this is pixel art and animation basics. Now I'm gonna wait a second because this next surface is on an angle. It's a different angle of the first one. The first one's like this, second one's like that. So I feel like the light should have a slight delay in how it's moving through there. So boop, 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 boop. And I just want a tiny bit. I just want to show a little tiny bit. This is where the refraction comes in, because now you're gonna see that this is not. Oh, that was too much. Sorry, I'm gonna get back just a tad, just a touch here. Do that as well. Fill this guy in. Let's see if that's too much. Okay, cool. That's kind of what I wanted. So you can see now that there's a delay between the light comes up, and then it should be up here. If these layers were the same angle, it would just continue straight on up. But because they're different, I want this light to react like that and show. That's what's really going to give this thing that depth effect. So it comes up here, and then it slows down a bit, going around the corner. Well, going through the rock, I should say. And now the last frame. Oh, we're going to need more frames. Ah. Okay, that's cool. I can deal with more frames. I don't usually set a limit on these things at the beginning. Let's go resize the canvas, and let's go down now. Chunk. You can add frames going left, right, up, down. In fact, that's really cool. You can just click here on the pivot point, and wherever you click, it's going to add the frames in relation to that pivot point. That's really cool. I like that. So let's shrink this down again so I can look at what I'm doing. I'm going to maybe work up here for a while now. Let's go back to our diamond layer. Make sure you do that, because if you don't, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. I don't know if I'm going to use... That's 12 frames. Jeez. I don't think I'm going to use 12, but we'll see how many I use. Bonk. Okay, cool. Now where were we? We're at frame 6. Go back to our shine layer, because I don't want to... Oh yeah, right. I got to add more frames to the animation too. Let's just add all of them. So it should be now. It's gone up here. Maybe not enough. Not enough. But I think that it worked. Did it work? Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, so now let's have a look at this. Okay, I don't think that's exaggerated enough, to be honest. In fact, man, I'm sorry, but I'm not happy with that at all, because I don't like the way it moves through the second part. I feel if these are separate, if these angles are different, then this light should be moving differently up here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's just do those last few frames again, because chunk. Did I do something there? No. Okay. So let's take it back. That one's also got a bit in it. That's all right. We can leave that. So now I'm going to move this. So the angle is going to be different now. Let's go like this. And now you'll see what effect this has. Let's just quickly go through these. I probably usually spend a bit more time on this, but we're all in a hurry. Our time is precious. Your time is precious, and I respect that. Oh, geez, I let go. If you let go, that's kind of annoying, because with transparency turned on, if you click again to try and draw some more stuff, what you're going to do is darken what you've already got, or lighten in this case, because it's on white. Now what I did there was kind of put a bow in it, like a dent, because I want this to look kind of interesting when it goes up here. I want it to do like a U-shaped thing at the end, and you'll see why. I don't know why, but it looks kind of awesome. Okay, so let's play this now and see what we got. There, now that's way better. It doesn't look like much, maybe, to you guys, but I think this is really effective in giving the impression that these surfaces are different. Now this also is probably maybe too many frames, but that's all right. I mean, this is in the tweaking part, which I talked about at the start, and that's fine with me. Now we've got these other faces here, these 3 down the bottom, and these ones are going to act as our secondary glints. They're going to add some juice to this thing, because some juice. Where am I getting this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the opacity down a wee bit more. Let's go to 50 maybe. That's good. And what I'm going to do is start a bit later, and I'm going to add just a glint in this middle bit, because I feel like that should also have some. That's going to have like that. Cool. It's really subtle now. This is a really subtle effect. And now, again, starting like back here maybe, I'm going to just go like this and give a little bit to this guy, because I feel like he's been neglected as well. So let's make this quite a reasonable shine here. Shine. Oh man, I apologize. I cannot stop singing today. Stupid things. That's not even a song. What was that? Let's get rid of that because that took over. Okay, cool. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. Now check this out. This is really cool. I like this. And it works too, because it's a rock it's a transparent kind of rock, and the light's coming through. It's changed on these surfaces. In fact, I don't like how it's moving at the same angle. I think this one should be coming down or something. So I'm gonna just, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I apologize. I'm going back on my decisions a lot here today, but where did it start? Oops. Hello. There, it starts there. Okay, now we're back to this square again. So I'm gonna start here this time, and I'm gonna come from the top now. I'm gonna come from the top, and I'm gonna move down over the surface from the top down, and from the right to the left actually, because, like I said, I want this light to look like it's coming from another angle, and this might just do that. Not coming from another angle, sorry. I want the light to look like it's moving through the object, and as it does that, that's a bit too sharp, isn't it? Let's give it a little bit more in this frame. Well, this is more frames than I wanted, but that's all right. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, so that's better. That's way better. I mean, obviously it can be tweaked still, but you get the hint. You get the idea. The light kind of moves through the object. Now, the last thing I want to do is give this bit down here some love. And actually, I'm going to go even more subtle here. This is going to be super subtle number 3. That's 25, for those of you who don't speak weird language. Let's go back a few frames to... Cool. Now, yeah, about here is where I want it to, or maybe here is where I want it to have some glow. So let's just give it like a little, I want like a little round glow in there. This may sound strange, but I've had success with the round glow in the past. He and I are good friends. Let's give it just a little bit here as well. And I want it to maybe move just a tiny bit. Let's give it just a little bit of movement. But I really want this to look like there's like just a pulse, like, you know, the light is just pulsing there. Maybe give it one more touch on the top just to give it a little bit more. Okay. And I think this will do it. Oops, that was silly. Control your mouse, please. Or your mouse will control you. Okay, let's have a look. So cool. Here's the result now. Okay. To be honest, I don't like that at all, what I just did, because now it looks like a mess. It looks like there's too much light going in too many different directions. Ay. This is all part of the job. Yay, pixel art. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to follow the pattern of the others. Let's just do that. So let's do it going up here, and we'll do it going down to the left, top right to the left, like we did with the other one, because that looked kind of cool, and I think it will work here as well. That was too big, but let's just take off a bit of that. You also don't want it to just burst out, like, you know, cover the whole surface on the first few frames, because it doesn't look natural. You want it to just slide over that surface in a cool kind of way, like a light snake, and then disappear. Okay, so that's, yeah, okay, cool. I'm happy with that. Now, like I said, this can be tweaked until your cows come home. But That's not so bad. What I'm not happy with, actually, having said all that, let's just hide the shine for a minute. Save that. I'm not happy with these edges for some reason still. Like this one, I think this one's bothering me. Let's change that. Now, what I should have done if I was smart is taught you guys about tiles in Pixel Edit, because tiles in Pixel Edit are really kind of awesome. So I'm going to teach you about that now. If you click on the tiles tool and spin over here, you'll see that you're going to place a tile if you click. Let's just press tab for a second. Tab shows you, is it tab? No, it's not got a shortcut. Yes, it does. It's tab. So tab shows you what's currently in each of these frames. At the moment, there's no tiles being used whatsoever. But I do want to use a tile. So I'm just going to copy what's in this frame. I'm going to click on a tile and I'm going to paste it here. Now you notice that it killed my diamond. That's because there's nothing in this tile here, over here in the tiles pane. So now if I paste, you get this diamond and it appears in frame in the tile here. So this is really cool. This is really powerful because what it allows you to do now is I can just go crazy here and delete all of these. Bye. Wait, oh, you too. I don't need any of that because now that I've got this one tile, I can just duplicate it and whatever I do to the first one will affect all the others. Time saver? Yes, it is. I'm going to use this blue here. Oopsies. Let's go back to... No, let's take it down a bit. Let's go 190. And just do this. That looked terrible. That completely took away my edge. And let's go back to 255. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Okay, it's a bit too bright maybe, but whatever, you get the hint. So cool. So now whatever I do to that tile, it happens to all the other tiles. So if I just want to go nuts, I will destroy my work very quickly. This is also dangerous a little bit because sometimes you forget that you're working with tiles, especially if tab's off and you can't see the tile number. And then you make a change and then blah, something else in somewhere else in your document is now completely ruined. Hooray. But it doesn't happen that often. Anyway, let's turn our shine back on. And now let's play it. I'm liking that. That's not so bad. I mean, it could be better, but I think for this tutorial, we'll leave it there. So now you can export your stuff, and there's a cool little export dialog here. I'll just make it a GIF for now because I want it as a GIF. Pixel scale 2 because my game's using 2 times pixel scale. And now I can just save it out here as a GIF in my... Oh, look at that! I've already got a name structure here. Sure, let's make a new folder. It's an object, AnyFrames. Diamond shine. Cool. And I'll save it out. And you've also, that's not the only thing, that's just the save path. Then you actually got to hit save and it'll go, hello, saved, Diamond 1. Cool. Let's check it out. Here, diamond shine. And let's open it in Chrome. Cool. So there you go. That's a hunk of diamond that is shining. Again, not my best work. I will probably improve this, but you get the general hint, and I hope it gave you some sort of indication about, or some help on visualizing how light moves through these objects, because it's not always just light comes in one side, goes out the other. It bends and it changes, and it can refract in cool ways. I would really encourage you, again, to play around with some 3D software if you haven't already, and or even just, grab a glass. There's a glass in my hand right now. If I put it in the sunlight, I can see what's happening. There's light going everywhere. It's look, whatever. I'm geeking out about this stuff. I apologize. Thank you so much for watching. And this is my first Let's Pixel. I will be doing others. And if you liked it, leave a comment saying, I liked this. And if you didn't like it, I apologize. I will get better. Anyway, have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. I'm Jim Zip, and I will see you again.